Good day there, Steeler Nation. Flip Fisher, staff writer for BehindTheSteelCurtain.com. What we're going to get into today is taking a little look at Mason Rudolph, the second half versus the Browns. Now, there's a couple of things I'm going to say beforehand. And I'm gonna explain my process here a little bit, because I had a guy question about me cherry picking plays in my article about sitting Mason Rudolph for Devlin Duck Hodges. What I do is I start out the process with I watch the condensed game, and while I'm doing that, I'm taking notes. And so you can't always tell exactly what's going on in the broadcast, because you're getting a couple angles. You're not getting the broad angles. You're not seeing the routes from the other wide receivers. So that's one reason why I don't use them. But so I come down to a certain level of plays, because I want to see what the all 22, what the coach's view gives me. And so I usually end up with about 14 to 18 plays, give or take. And so then I go through the coach's film. Is there something open there? Well, no. Get rid of it. Was it great coverage? Yes. Well, get rid of that. No reason to show it. So I only use 10 plays, because these are long enough as it is. And I get accused by a small group of people for bashing on Rudolph. Well, I bash on Rudolph when the tape shows what he's doing and not doing, and with my interpretation of it. Y'all might have a different interpretation, but that's just mine. So that being said, let's start talking about this just a little bit. Now, one thing I'm going to say is Johnny Holton is an absolute horrid wide receiver. When he actually makes me miss Sammy Stonehands. That's Sammy Coates, for anybody who doesn't know that Sammy Stonehands was my favorite nickname for Sammy Coates. When Johnny Holton's making me miss Sammy Stonehands, there's a big issue with this guy. This guy is terrible. He makes DHB look like Jerry Rice on catching everything around him. And I'll tell you, he hurt Mason Rudolph in this game. Absolutely he did. But one thing I'm going to say here, and this actually surprised me. When I actually went back and watched the condensed game, condensed version, and when I grabbed my plays, I was actually surprised that in some plays Rudolph actually really was good. Oh no! Flip actually said Rudolph was good? He gave him kudos? Wow. Cats and dogs playing together, all that jazz. Now, I'm going to give him kudos for some of these passes. I'm absolutely going to tear him apart on others, though, because there was some good plays that he made. Now, so let's get into this. Let's skip all that. Now, this is a 2nd and 10, and this is going to be his interception. And this is one of those plays that drives me nuts with him. This is a timing pattern. And I'm going to back this up a little bit. We've seen almost the same pattern against Indianapolis, where Washington made a great one-handed catch on the ball. And this is basically the same play. but he throws it so far behind him this time. And, that was, I believe it was Tevin Smith on this play. Sorry, Tevin Jones. My bad. Or what? And it's just a bad throw. Clean pocket. Bad throw. It's not even in the, I mean, what's Tevin Jones supposed to do with that? Here we have another, or a 1st and 10. Now, okay, be ready, because here it is. Here's the kudos to Rudolph on a nice throw. Now, that's where Johnson just absolutely got killed. But this was actually a very nice throw. And Johnson dropped it. I don't know if Johnson knew he was just going to get mauled. But he absolutely, it did go right through his hand. And then he takes the mark. That was a very good throw. Did the ball hang up a little bit? I don't know. I'm not gonna blame it. That was a good throw. Here's the 1st and 10, another one. Now, here's another fantastic pass by Rudolph. Yes, I'm giving him kudos in the second half of this game. Nice. This is where I have bashed and bashed and bashed on Rudolph for not letting a play develop. And here he lets the play develop. Crossing. He's okay in the pocket. Throws to a spot. And there's the nice easy pitch and catch. To Washington. I like this. If I saw more out of this, if I saw more plays like this out of Rudy, I wouldn't bash on him so much. I mean, that's right on the money. That is right there. That was letting that play develop. Bam. If I saw that 3 or 4 times a game, I would be happy. But I don't. I don't see that. I see it once, maybe a second time. Another 1st and 10. This is a bad underthrow. But of course, Johnny Holton does him no favors, and there was the. I'm not worried about the pass interference or the illegal. I think they called pass interference. They did call pass interference. But this is an underthrow. But what I do like, and I've said this for the last few games, is I like him attacking these one-on-one coverages, but it's an underthrow. And Johnny Holton is just terrible and does him no favors here. And, after giving him kudos, now going back to bashing him a little bit. Now, this was a good dump off. But let's watch this play again. Let's watch it from here. Because this is actually a great angle to see what he's seeing. He's only looking this way. Wide open over the middle. Wide open. And that's one thing that really bothers me with Rudolph is missing these guys wide open over the middle because he's so focused on one particular side. I mean, it looks like he's looking right here, that he's waiting. And he clearly doesn't see Washington. And why does he get happy feet in the pocket? There's no, before that. He gets some happy feet here. where he steps up in the pocket. Right there. Why does he move up? There's the pocket's clean where he was. And he kind of created the pressure. But I'll give him kudos for his typical dump off to Samuels. But you got to remember, that was our only touchdown of the game. That was helped out by a huge, huge penalty. Here's a 1st and 10. Now, this is going to be a good throw to Washington. I like that throw. Rudy did some nice passes in the second half. He had some nice passes. Going through some progression. Bam. It's Washington dumped down into the zone. I like that. Might not have been the greatest accuracy, but hey, put it where Washington could catch it and where, the defender was not there. Here we got a 1st and 10. And this is just a terrible throw to Holton. Again, doesn't give Holton a chance to catch the ball in bounds. I'm not going to say Holton would have got it, because that would definitely be a stretch. And he goes through a little progression, or he's just looking off the safety. But this ball's out of bounds. It's that touch on the deep pass. And I've begged on him about this. When he's somewhere around, 5 for 28 or whatever it is, you can't give him any kind of kudos for these deep passes. All right, so another first and 10 here. And here's the interception by Schobert. And, this is what young quarterbacks do. This is what inexperienced quarterbacks do. They make bad decisions. They don't see the whole field. Now, this is where I knock on Rudolph for locking in on a player. You're going to see it a little more on the next view. Watch his head. Watch where he's looking. Locked in. Schobert's just waiting. Schobert's reading his eyes. And he makes a fairly easy catch on the ball. Rudolph is looking from left to right. He never sees Schobert in the middle. And, it was a good play on Schobert's part. But he pulled a veteran linebacker move there. All right, 2nd and 10. Now, this is going to be a terrible overthrow again. Down here. And, Holton does him no favors. He kind of lollygags, but that should have been picked off. I don't know if Holton would have actually got to the ball. But, he couldn't really step into the ball, or didn't. And this is where, I believe it was Tony Romo during the broadcast the other night said, talked about the little things. Where Rudolph doesn't move in the pocket. You don't have to move clear outside of the pocket. Just move some steps inside of the pocket. Give yourself some room. And I thought that was a great line by Tony Romo. I did it no justice on explaining it, of course. Here we go. We got the 1st and 10. And this is just a terrible overthrow. there's 4 minutes left in the game. The game's pretty sealed here. But, I mean, we're driving here. And here's the pass. He has to get over the top of Mac Wilson. Which he does. Problem is he dumps it over McDonald's head too. This is one thing that why I kind of question Rudolph's ability to succeed in the NFL. It's these touch passes. It's missing Schobert, and I get it. I get it. Would a more experienced quarterback have made the same mistakes? Well, yeah, they do, because we've seen Ben do that. But what I'm seeing week in and week out is how many plays did I just show that you went, wow, that's a nice throw? 2, 3. In yesterday's, how many of the plays did you go, wow, that's Rudolph. He's got a chance at being an NFL quarterback. How many? When he's constantly dumping the ball off, when he's constantly missing or targets over the middle that are open, or if he gets the happy feet in the pocket, doesn't go through progression. This is why I don't think he is an NFL. Well, he's definitely not an NFL starting quarterback caliber. I don't think. That's just my personal evaluation. And I write for BTSC. I do some YouTubing. I definitely am not a professional at this. I'm just giving my opinion. But I watch a lot of football. And I'm just seeing nothing from week to week that makes me think right now that Rudolph is progressing or can progress to the next level. Yeah, he's got some mechanics with his footwork that can be fixed. You can't fix decision making. He watches a whole lot more film than I do and has way better people around him evaluating with him than I could even possibly dream of. Could he? Sure, let's leave the door open. But I don't think so. And I already came out and said, I want to see what we could get out of Duck. What happens if we implode on Sunday? If he implodes again? Short leash? The majority of people right now, on a poll that I put up, said, yeah, Rudy deserves to be on a short leash this week. He's without weapons. Well, he's without Juju. Who? He hasn't been throwing the Juju much anyway. How big of a loss is it when you're not throwing at your best wide receiver? We're without Connor. Huh? Snell's got a better yards per carry average than Connor. So people who bring up the excuse, well, if Rudolph has issues this week, then it's because he didn't have any weapons. Use Vance McDonald more. Use Washington. Use Jalen Samuels more. Run Benny Snell more. I don't think there's any excuse this weekend if he fails. If he flounders. And I think he should be on a short leash. If he flounders early, throws a pick six, pull him. He has 50 yards passing in the first half against a terrible 30. I believe their 31st ranked defense, pass defense, Bengals. Pull him. Well, there's my 2 cents, everybody. So I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to give me a thumbs up if you would. I would really appreciate that. I like the interaction. Give me a thumbs down if you think I sucked. I'm perfectly fine with that too. Be sure to subscribe because I am going to start putting up that Rams film, game film that I have not been able to do yet. I'll probably put an episode up tonight, and hopefully the next one, maybe, possibly tomorrow. But I wouldn't count on that. So, all right, Steeler Nation. Well, thank you for your time, and hope you all are having a good weekend. Root for those Steelers tomorrow. Haters.